Welcome back to Great Minds Think Alike. I'm Gabby.
And I'm Nick.
Today we're going to be discussing DISC personality types, health insurance, and homeowners associations, or HOAs, for our real estate segment. So let's dive into our business segment.
Yep. So the business segment we're going to be discussing is the DISC personality test. Gabby and I have both taken this, and for anyone that's really in any situation, as broad as that sounds, it can be super useful. So whether you're in a corporate setting where you have a manager or you're being managed, whether you're an entrepreneur where you have business partners who are on an equal level to you, or even in personal relationships, understanding the other person or the people around you, understanding their learning style and their DISC profile will help you collaborate and cooperate much more efficiently.
All right, so let's dive into the different types of DISC. So D is dominance, I is influencer, S is steadiness, and C is conscientiousness. And having the ability to identify these different personality types when you're having a conversation with someone really just helps you in so many different ways, which we're going to go into.
Yeah, so let's talk about the first one, which is, the most broad, communication. Adjusting your communication style depending on the person you're working with and their learning style will really help you be more respectful, help them learn better, help you cooperate more. It'll help you understand each other better and work well. We always talk about on this show how communication is key. Well, one way to increase your communication with someone is understanding their DISC learning style. Another is for team building. So, knowing the different types of personalities on your team can help build strength in the relationships and build the team.
So the next one would be conflict resolution. You can understand the source of someone's frustration just by knowing what their personality is. You're going to be able to talk through it and resolve the issue at hand a lot faster when you're able to understand each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I use this with my clients. If you, as a realtor or mortgage professional, understanding the learning profile of your clients will help you best serve them. So it's business partners, managers, managed clients. Understanding this completely changes the dynamic of cooperating with other human beings and helps you cater to other people so that you can work better with them.
And there are so many other benefits, but the last one we're going to touch on right now is personal growth. Understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, how to leverage your strengths.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a bunch of reasons why this will help. So let's go over the DISC profile in general with what it is. So we'll start with D. So the D stands for dominance.
He's a D.
Yes, I took the personality test and my main one. So you get two main ones. My first was D. So D's are, I have the details here, they're direct, decisive, confident, and very results driven. They appreciate getting to the point in conversations and are motivated by power, competition, winning, and they like to avoid lack of challenges and indecisions.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's definitely me. I'm a very logic, down to the wire, what will get what results, and make action, no procrastinating. Okay.
So next, I'm an I,
That's
and my secondary is a
through.
D, so I'm an ID.
And I was a DI, so it kind of worked.
So the influencer, our I's are going to be enthusiastic, outgoing, optimistic, persuasive, and overall just inspiring. And they really appreciate personable approaches, creative freedom. I know that's right for me. Mm-hmm. And they're motivated by group and team activities, collaboration. They really thrive on being in social settings. And I would say with this one is avoiding negative and overly rigid environments. Eyes do not like that.
Yeah, you didn't have to take the personality test for me to tell you that you were an eye. If you just read me that there, I could have saved you your time on that.
Side note, the personality test is really cool. You should definitely take it. And they have free ones on Google, so you just look that up.
Yeah. So the S stands for steadiness. So our S's are reliable, supportive, patient, and practical. They appreciate stability and harmony. They're motivated by security, loyalty, and trustworthy relationships, and helping others. And things that they like to avoid are sudden changes in high-pressure environments. So I would say someone who's an S likes to have the same routine every day. Maybe a 9-to-5 corporate job makes this person happier because they can go to the gym in the morning. They always know they go to the same desk. They work on the same task. I would say your accountants, some of your analytical people, a lot of them are S's because they like the same routine, and going out of their norm makes them nervous or upset.
Yeah. An accountant can also be a C, so I'll get into that as well.
What does it say?
So conscientious personality type. Our C's are analytical. They have traits of precision. They love accuracy. So they have a lot of attention to detail. They're persistent. They appreciate accuracy, quality. They are motivated by structure, organization, logical thinking, and problem solving. So our C's, you want to avoid any lack of clarity, lack of feedback, vague feedback, and micromanaging.
Yeah, so now that we're talking about this all, you're right. Accountants are probably C's as well. They're probably SC or CS, someone who needs such steep attention to detail. It seems like C's are probably your perfectionists.
Yeah.
If you need every little detail to be correct, you got some C in you.
Exactly. And just to give an example of each personality type and how they function in a team. So your S's, they're going to be that supportive team member that is going to send like the motivational quotes and we can do this, guys, in the group chat every week. Our I's are going to be maybe initiating the brainstorming sessions and collaborations.
Setting up the holiday parties.
Exactly.
Yep.
Event planning.
Events.
I's are like that. C's, they're going to be the ones giving you the metrics. And your D's, they're going to be results oriented, and they're going to probably be the ones to figure out an execution of how we're going to get the results that we're aspiring to create here.
Yeah, so for example, you, the I, would say, let's have a holiday party for our team. The D and me will say, okay, well, how is this going to make us better? How is this going to give us better results? What should we do?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how each of them all function together. And a well-oiled performing team probably has one of each of these on it because, you need a little bit of everything in order to succeed.
Exactly. And that's where you can leverage the strengths and weaknesses and create the best team that you can.
Yes. So when we were talking about this last night, when we were putting this all together, you had mentioned that there was one common denominator between all of these personality types.
Yep. So no matter who you are, no matter what personality type you have, everybody likes recognition in some capacity. So our D's, they like recognition for their achievements and their innovation. Our I's, they like public recognition, like in front of a team, shouting them out. Our S's, they like recognition for how reliable they are.
Perfect attendance record.
Yeah, and then our C's, they like recognition for their accuracy and hard work. So everyone likes and does well in an environment when they are getting the recognition that they deserve.
So it's recognition. Everyone likes it, right? We know. The part of learning your team's personality type is so you know which type of recognition to give somebody. The D may not appreciate you saying, wow, that was really good. You have very accurate hard work. That's great, but did the results come? That's great, but did we finish the goal, right?
Right.
And if you're complimenting the I for being reliable, showing up every day, they may say, okay, yeah, I'm here every day, but that's not what I do. That's not the value I bring. So you want to make sure that you're recognizing each person for the thing that they want to be recognized for.
Yeah, and honestly, in any team functionality, if you're not giving these people recognition, people are going to become disengaged naturally.
Yep, exactly. So I think that about wraps up everything we wanted to say on the DISC profile. Just last note, highly recommend that you take one yourself. If you're managing a team, if you have business partners, if you're in an office, even a sports team, have everyone take this and learn each other's learning styles. I guarantee you will thrive.
Yeah.
So we'll move over to our lifestyle segment. As Gab mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about health insurance. Ugh.
The drama.
Really?
Okay, so health insurance, as we know, is a medical necessity, but we are unfortunately being extremely taken advantage of by our government with health insurance. Shocker.
Shocked. Yep. So it's bad, right? I just want to open this up. When you're a kid, you're typically on your parents' health insurance, and when you turn 26 years old, that's when you have to get it on your own. So we've had a few years of this, and it was already bad when we had to take it on our own, and it's only gotten worse.
So we're just going to go over some of the reasons why health insurance, as necessary as it is a bit challenging and frustrating. So one would be their high premiums. And I did a stat on this here. So high premiums have been rising consistently for years. That's one. But also the average premium for family coverage is $22,000 while employers are paying $6,000 a year.
That's an interesting stat. So basically, even if your employer's helping, it's not much. And what the premium is, that's what you pay per month. So that's what comes out of your paycheck every week in order to have it. There's also extremely high deductibles. So that's the amount you pay out of pocket before the insurance kicks in. So a lot of these policies, you're paying, $300, $400, $500 a month, and then your kid gets hurt and breaks a leg, and you still have to pay, $7,000 to $14,000 on average before it even kicks in. It has a lot of people thinking, why am I paying so much per month if when tragedy happens, I'm still paying before I get any help? It's just gotten very out of hand. So moving on, out-of-pocket costs, co-pays can be very expensive when you go to the doctors and things.
So, and another thing with all this, it's confusing as hell for me. And I'm sure a lot of other people as well. For example, my situation, when I was laid off, I didn't really understand like the health benefits and what that looked like and how I was going to be paid out. And I would call the benefits department for a couple weeks after I got laid off because I was supposed to be covered up until a certain point. It's 90 days, I believe, after you have a layoff. And every single time I spoke to a representative, a different person answered, and they had a different answer to the same question every time. It's very frustrating.
This was insane because she would call me with one answer. I'd say, okay, so let's do this. Because I'm a D, I like to say, what's the situation? What do we do with it? And then a week later, she'd call me, no, this one said this was wrong, this was wrong. And she's getting so much different information. We have no fucking idea what the truth is, how it actually goes, excuse my language, but it was so infuriating because not only is it not great coverage, all this stuff, it's confusing and you get different answers depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah, I ended up getting screwed over with some money here. It's use it or lose it. And
she was paying into an account pre-tax, and when she got laid off, they kept the money. Just another thing, they just find any way to screw you over and take your money.
It was with a health savings account and then with another health benefit. And if we can go into this in another episode if you guys are interested, because I did come from an HR background before I was doing real estate full-time and podcasting full-time here. So if you guys are interested in hearing a little bit more about that, I'd be happy to go into it.
And another fact we pulled up here is the impact on well-being and mental health. So it causes financial stress, and 40% of Americans reported financial stress due to medical bills. Now, that's just stress from finances. We also have an example where it can actually give mental health stress. So we go into this because your health insurance, they have in-network people. So on top of everything else we just said, they also come and say, even though the coverage is crappy and you're paying us a ton of money, we're only going to cover you if you use people in our network. So what that means is it says, you have to use my boy or else I won't pay you. This doctor pays for my family to go on vacation or slips me this, so we're only going to pay if you use that person. And this causes some serious issues in real life.
So one of my best friends is a therapist, and one of her clients that has been going to her for years had to change their health insurance company. And with that being said, the therapy company that my friend works at is no longer covered for this client. So this client, who has built comfortability, shared her whole life story with my friend, is no longer able to see the therapist that she's been seeing for years because of insurance. And that takes a toll on someone's mental health.
Could you imagine that? You are someone who has a fragile mental health right now for one reason or another. You share your story, you build a relationship and comfortability with the therapist, and now all of a sudden, because of greedy insurance companies saying that company didn't pay us, so they're not in network anymore, now you have to go find a total stranger and start over again. It's criminal in my opinion, and it's sad, and I hate hearing stories like that, but it has to be brought to attention so that it can get fixed.
Yeah.
I just briefly want to say my story with health insurance. So when I turned 26, I was working for a different company, and I got the very rude awakening of how much money was going to be per month and the very little coverage. And I realized I was going to be paying over $400 a month and have practically nothing covered. So I called my friend's mom, who's in HR, and she helped me look through nj.gov because we're recording from New Jersey. And I saw that the government plans on the internet were just as bad as the one I was offered, and it was absolutely insane. So long story short, when I ended up moving to a new company, the coverage was a little bit better and I was happy. And then another year passed and they had to increase their premiums and everything got more expensive because of the insurance company. So it's just kind of wild. Through my short stint in insurances, I've gotten screwed over so many times just with the premiums and the deductibles. And it just keeps going up year over year over year. It's insane.
I also want to share, Nick and I are domestic partners.
Hell yeah. Little loophole in the system we did for you non-married folk who may be living together.
Yeah, so we did this so I can get on his insurance. The credentials are you need to share a lease for at least a year, or a mortgage, or a bank account, or share a car together. You need to have some form of shared account for one whole year, and then you would qualify for said domestic partnership.
As long as you also signed a domestic partnership agreement.
Oh, yeah.
So
and then get it notarized.
In our case, we've been living together for a few years. So we proved that, and we got a domestic partnership form notarized, and then I was able to add her on my health insurance. So the reason we bring this up is, let's say you're in a situation where one person's self-employed and the other is in a job, and you don't have to get married to share these benefits. Let's just say you both have great jobs and you both have insurances. Rather than being on two separate insurances with each company, you can evaluate who has the better coverage, do the domestic partnership loophole, and hop on that to save money. We just wanted to share that. It's one loophole, I guess we'll say, in order for you to benefit from your spouse's health care without actually getting married.
Yeah, because I'm an independent contractor and at this point now, so I am no longer on a staff, and being on your insurance is very helpful to me.
Yes, you're welcome, domestic
Thank
partner.
you. DPs.
Yes. Now, we can't put out an episode about insurance without mentioning what's happening in the world. So we all know the CEO that got shot down from the Luigi guy. And I only want to bring this up. It's a terrible tragedy. No, we don't want anyone to die. We don't want violence of any sort. But we're bringing this up because whether you disagree or agree with what happened, it only happened because of how bad things have gotten. And I am very, very concerned that if things don't get better, other people may act in unethical ways. So I say that we've all seen what happened. The kid turned 26. Things were horrible with insurance, and he reacted in a very severe way. I really just hope that health insurance gets better before more of the same comes, because we don't need any more of that kind of things happening in our country. He made a point, and hopefully the point was driven where we don't have to have any more violence and things start getting better.
So we want to leave it off on a positive note, just to try to do everything that you can to be healthy.
Yeah, the absolute best way to prevent getting in medical debt from these companies, getting screwed over by insurance, the best way to save money with insurance is to simply be healthy, eat healthy, and exercise. These health insurance companies, they want you to get sick. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They want you to have some terminal illness that they need to feed you pills forever.
Because they profit off of it.
The best way to save money with health insurance is to be preventative, be healthy, and eat well.
Yep.
Awesome. So I know that can be a touchy subject. We had to touch on a few different things there. So let's move on now to a lighter note, our real estate segment.
Our real estate segment today, we're going to be talking about HOAs, homeowners associations. Yep. So homeowners association is basically just an organization, people that are managing the community, the neighborhood, ensuring that rules are followed, regulations, all guidelines, collecting the finances, all that good stuff.
So with the HOA comes a lot of common amenities that you could see. Whenever my clients are looking at houses and they say, oh, well, what does this HOA offer? I always say refer to your realtor. They're the expert on that. So we'll refer to Gabby on the amenities.
The biggest thing with HOAs is it's really going to be the maintaining of the shared spaces. So what that looks like is, the big one is landscaping.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much every complex is at least going to take care of the landscaping.
Maybe snow removal, right?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what state you're in.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many different complexes and there's so many different rules and regulations. So I just want to say that the landscaping is probably a safe one and is usually covered by that HOA. Mm-hmm. So there's other amenities that you can get from an HOA, like a pool, a fitness center, a clubhouse. Maybe there's laundry facilities on site, things like that.
Trash removal.
Parking. Parking's a big one. Parks, maybe.
Exactly. So a lot of the amenities can be for pleasure. Some of them are necessities. So that's what I wanted to touch base on with what in the mortgage side. They also, HOAs, rules and regulations. They ensure that the residents in the neighborhood are held to a certain standard, that things look well, presentable. They take care of the exterior. So a lot of times, but not always, they'll cover the roofs, the siding, the painting, keeping things maintained, things that homeowners would have to do themselves that the HOA takes care of. Noise levels, pet policies, they really control all of that. Now, when it comes to the financing part, HOAs typically have a monthly payment. So, I put down here, HOA has monthly payment and an initial contribution. So this is why in a lot of cases, condos at a certain price can be more expensive than a single family home at that same purchase price per month, because there's that extra monthly fee for the HOA. However, when you own a single family house and you're not in a condo with an HOA, you may get hit with a big bill at once. So let's say you need a new heating system, that could be 15 grand, or a new roof, 15 to 20,000. So where with an HOA, you may be paying 300-400 a month no matter what. And then when something goes wrong, they fix it. Think of it as you're paying up front for issues that may come down the line. Whereas in a single family house, yeah, you saved that 300, 400, 500 a month, but now you got to chalk up 20 grand for a new roof. So in my opinion, over a long period of time, I feel like it ends up being pretty even. Whether you pay it monthly with the HOA or as a homeowner, paying a landscaper or fixing things up in a lump sum of money at one time.
It really depends on your situation, because someone that's in an adult community, they don't really want to spend time landscaping anymore.
Exactly, and it could cover that for you.
And they get the benefits of a clubhouse, liveliness, social events. There's plenty benefits of an HOA, and if you're looking for a community, that's definitely a benefit of joining one, but you just have to leverage out, see what's offered, and evaluate.
Yeah, and pick an HOA complex and community that gives the amenities that fit your needs. Going back to the financing, another thing that's important to mention is that above this monthly fee, HOAs oftentimes, I don't want to say all the times because there's always that anomaly out there, but they have what I call a capital contribution, which is an initiation fee. This is usually anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000 to join the community. And this is an added closing cost. So if you're someone that's buying a house, keep that in mind that your single family house versus your condo, the closing cost may be a couple thousand more for the condo to join that HOA.
I do just want to throw out there too, some single families are part of a community, and you may still have to pay an HOA in a single family. So it really varies on the neighborhood that you're looking in. Check with your realtor, see what HOA amenities that there are, see what's covered, and just go from there. See what works for your needs.
I will say though, with single families that are in HOAs, a lot of times it's a lot cheaper. I see 50.
Yeah.
I'm working with someone now, it's $25 a month, and it's minimal things, but it can help. So the last boring thing I want to talk about is when you're getting a mortgage. An HOA, meaning you're looking at a condo, it can add a little bit of complexity to the loan, and really not all that much. However, certain things we have to look into that we don't look into with a standalone house. We have to make sure there's no litigation on the HOA community. We have to make sure there's certain cash reserves that they have. We have to make sure that they have a master insurance policy that's renewed. And other little things. So just to keep that in mind, that when you are obtaining financing for a home, there's a couple more steps with a condo. I always say, we can accommodate quick closings. If it's a condo, give us a couple extra days to obtain all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, so that wraps it up. I'll say my last remark. Always contact your realtor or mortgage professional if you're debating between a single family and HOA, especially if there's certain communities you want, and we can help break down the specifics for you and figure out what's best for your situation.
Exactly.
Awesome. So yeah.
So I think that about wraps it up for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yep. So like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week with more.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.